Hello and welcome everyone to this week's Gold and Silver Club presenting the Commodities Corner by myself, Phil and Nik at the Gold and Silver Club. The live session today will of course cover a review of the commodities market this week. We'll take a look at our top trade of the week, actually our top 3 trades of the week. We'll look at live technical analysis and trading. We'll identify highly profitable trade setups. We'll also be looking at the week ahead, so key events looking forward, and of course answering any questions you may have too. Okay, so the major fundamental news that's come out this week, well, gold prices, they were boosted on the dovish minutes from the FOMC and upbeat Chinese data. The headline event this week was that the minutes from the FOMC released on Wednesday the 21st. Traders watch for the clues of the future of the Fed's the monetary policy. The minutes from the FOMC touched upon the topic of a rate hike, however, outlined this would take place in 2015 after the central bank ends its quantitative easing program this year. So the initial reaction to talk of a rate hike triggered an immediate sell-off in gold towards $1,282 an ounce, followed by a quick 100-point rally back up to $1,292 an ounce as traders, they digested the report and it became clear the Federal Reserve would delay rate hikes for as long as required. So as the Asian markets opened on Thursday, the Chinese HSBC manufacturing PMI came in at a reading of 49.7. It was better than the 48.1 in April, making this the strongest reading in 5 months. So the HSBC manufacturing PMI data indicated China was recovering from the recent slowdown. So upbeat data from China, the world's largest commodity consumer, combined with the Federal Reserve's reassurance that interest rates would not rise anytime soon, helped to boost gold, silver, copper and crude oil prices this week. And also elsewhere in the markets on Wednesday, China and Russia, they signed a $400 billion natural gas supply deal. So Russia will now supply the world's #1 energy user with a source of cleaner fuel. The deal involves directly linking Russia's huge gas fields to Asia's booming markets via thousands of miles of new pipeline across Siberia. So this is the biggest natural gas deal in history. So been some very important announcements this week for the market. We'll take a look at the technicals very shortly. Before we do so, of course, I'm Phil Carr, professional trader, and speaker. I'm the co-founder and director of the Gold and Silver Club. I specialize in teaching people how to make money from trading the most lucrative financial markets in the world, so gold, silver, oil, the commodity currencies. I've also trained thousands of individuals to become independent traders and successfully manage their own investment portfolio, responsible for the research and development of the Gold and Silver Club trademark strategies that have a proven track record of generating returns for traders. Also a regular contributor to a number of financial publications and speak at numerous trading seminars, webinars and workshops. Joining me in running the Gold and Silver Club is Nik. Nik is a professional trader, investment analyst and speaker. Nik began his career within private wealth management in 2002 before making the transition into proprietary trading. And prior to co-founding the Gold and Silver Club, spent over 5 years coaching professional fund managers and traders internationally for some of the world's top-tier hedge funds and investment banks. And through his first-hand relationship with some of the world's most successful traders, discovered the formula, mindset and tools that give any individual the definitive edge to trade in any economy. Also regularly writes for a number of business and financial publications. We've appeared frequently on financial television. So that's just a bit of background, guys, on the Gold and Silver Club. We'll take a look at the gold price right now, currently trading at $1,291 an ounce. So we'll take a look at the technicals very shortly as well. For the top trades this week, we've got some nice trades that we've had, the Gold and Silver Club signature trading strategy. So first of all, coffee has been a really nice trade. I think we highlighted this on last week's Commodities Corner. We came up to a major trend line. From there, we found resistance. We had a sell-off all the way back to support again this week. So very simple sell trade. For the price to be lower, sell entry at 193.50, just came down and finished quite a lot lower there. So very simple trade. We win a 1-to-1 payout based on the price just finishing 1 point lower. WTI crude oil had a nice breakout this week, had a very clear resistance channel. We broke out and came up to the next Fibonacci level this week. Very nice breakout actually on that. So just a buy above 102.30 for the price to be higher. And we had a gold breakout this week. That was just yesterday. We had a lot of consolidation around a lower trend line, and then we got a breakout in the afternoon. Actually, late morning. It was around about 11 o'clock BST that we got this breakout. Just a buy entry above 1293, and that delivered nicely. So those are the top 3 trades this week so far. One on energies, one on agriculture, and also one on the precious metals using the rise and fall type trades. So we'll look over to those now. We'll do some technical analysis. So we'll look at rise and fall trades on Barney.com. Very simply, if you select rises, you win the payout if the market exit price is strictly higher than the entry price. And if you select falls, you win the payout if the market exit price is strictly lower than the entry price. Okay, so we'll go over to my charts now. We'll just take a look at what's lining up currently on the markets. Okay, got a few interesting setups today. Now, do bear in mind that Monday will be a bank holiday in the US and the UK. So we're just bearing that in mind in terms of volatility you'll be getting just today. So first of all, we'll start off with the US dollar index. So US dollar index actually broke out to the upside this morning. We've been monitoring this for a while. We've hit a key moving average actually just shy of it this morning, but this breakout that we're getting on the US dollar, we've been waiting for this for quite some time. That will put pressure. We discussed this actually on last night's webinar, actually, the trading session on corn, Australian US dollar, which we're looking to take a short position on. It's actually continuing to sell off today. That will put pressure on Australian US dollar, and it will also put pressure on the gold and silver market. If the US dollar continues to break out and rally from here, we can see we're starting to get a breakout from that major level of resistance. And next key level really being about 80.75. So it's about another 30 points higher for the US dollar index to actually rally up to. So let's look at the inverse correlation. So what would we expect gold to do? Well, if the US dollar index continues to rally today, we do expect gold to sell off. Now, we're probably going to pick up momentum here as we go into the US session today. We can see so far today, we've only got about 44 points here that the market has moved. So a fairly muted move so far during the UK session. Now, there is a nice triangle, there's a nice a pennant forming here on the markets. You can see here very clearly we've got lower highs and also higher lows. The market is consolidating for a breakout soon. So we're wondering which way we are going to break out. We will trade that move. So are we going to break the lower end of this trend channel and come down, hit 1276 support and break down lower? Or are we going to get a reversal and we're going to break out to the upside here and see a break above key moving averages and also break above 1306 and come up and have a breakout to the upside? So this will be resolved very soon. Whether we get resolved today, we'll see how the US session opens. There is a little bit of a sell signal there on the daily. However, we really need to break out of this pennant. Okay, we've been forming within this pennant for the best part of a month now, and the pressure on a breakout will be quite big. So we're either going to break for the lower end here and get a really nice sell short, or we're going to break out to the upside and get a nice buy signal. So very clear range that gold is stuck within right now. We're looking for a breakout of that range. Silver, very similar situation. So here's one I did earlier. You can see a downward trending resistance channel, upward trending channel as well. Now, overall, when you do have a very strong predominant trend, normally when a pennant forms like this, it will break out in the direction of the prevailing trend. And at the moment, we are still in a downward trend for silver and gold here. We're still below a lot of key moving averages. Although we have had a little bit of a bounce to the upside, it's arguable whether we are actually just seeing a bearish flag formation and we're just going to see a breakdown low. So bearish flag would look like this, where you've got the market comes down and then it pulls back, has a little bit of a bounce. Okay, looks like the opposite side of a flag. Hopefully you can see that, like so. Okay, that's a bearish flag formation. And then what we'd see is just simply a breakdown lower again, and then possibly another flag form. And that's what we'll be looking out for, okay? So and then another break lower, just continue to do that. And that's what we're looking out for. We want to see whether we are going to break lower here on gold and silver. So that's our flag formation down here. So if I just show you that on the charts as well, this is our bearish flag pattern, okay, which we've got on the markets right now. So we've had a sell-off building up a little bit of support here, but now we're at a decision point, okay, on the silver market and the gold market. We need to come to a resolution soon. So which way will we break out? Probably at the moment with the US dollar index breaking out to the upside, I would favor a sell short, but it hasn't been confirmed yet. So we'll see if we get that confirmation today or next week. Australian US dollar, we discussed this last night. It's looking pretty good actually for continuation of the sell there. We're below a lot of key moving averages. Yesterday we came and bounced off a key level of support actually on Wednesday, came back up to hit 0.92715. We're right back at yesterday's low. So what I'm looking to do now, in the first instance, I want us to take out yesterday's low, and then I want us to take out Wednesday's low, and then just sell. sell, sell, sell once we take out these levels. So that's what I'm looking to do at the moment. We are already in a sell position on this based on also tighter time frames. So I'm very happy to enter into another trade here on Australian US dollar and just continue the momentum here to the downside. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to look at that just for an end of day trade for the market to finish lower, see how far we can go out, 9 hours, see if we can get out 10 hours. No, 9 hours will be the key. So I'm actually going to take my Australian US dollar trade, just build into this sell short. So I'm going to go for, it's a pretty decent risk to reward on that. 85% payout, looking for a sell short, $3,000 payout, and also the deposit on that, 1,624. So I'm just going to very simply, all I want is the price to finish lower than 0.9224 today. Okay, just 1 pip lower and I win the trade. So I'm going to take that based on a $3,000 payout. Super, that's been executed. For me, this is a nice trade. So what I want to do is just take out yesterday's low now, take out Wednesday's low, and really come back down to very key moving averages and these levels of support below. So what I like to see happen is this, come down, possible support around that level, at M8, okay, and then again, bang, come down. So that is ideal scenario at the moment for Australian US dollar. Just waiting for that really to confirm lower and come down today. And it is quite strongly correlated to gold, silver, and inversely correlated to the US dollar index, which is broken out today. Right, now oil. Oil is definitely one to watch today. You can see at the moment, I'm looking to take out yesterday's high here as well. You can see a little bit of support around this red dotted line here. This is a nice key support level here. So we're on at the moment WTI oil. Just going to flip it over and have a look. Another time frame there. You can see we're starting to get a little bit of a break to the upside here. Okay, we found support yesterday. So WTI, I'm just going to take a look out and have a look at Brent crude oil as well. Brent's on the move too. There you go. There's our bounce off 10.18. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to take the trade for the time being off the Brent crude oil market based on a nice bounce we've had at 110.15 there. So just going to go over and select Brent crude oil. So very simply, I'm going to go start trading. Commodities. Again, on this, looking for a rise and forward, I'm going to go over to oil. And I'm looking just for this to be higher over a matter of hours here. I might need to go out slightly, 7 minutes ahead. Probably going to be able to get about 4 or 5 hours ahead. Let's have a look. 5 hours, can we go out 6 hours? Okay, so we can get up to 6 hours. So I'm just very simply looking for the price to finish 1 pip higher today on that. We can see we're getting a nice bounce at the moment. So looking for, again, I'll go for 91% payout. That's pretty decent on oil there. So I'm looking for a deposit, 1,572 for a $3,000 payout. Okay, so I'm going to take that on oil. Brent crude oil is looking very good. And also be keeping out, there you go, WTI is on the move as well. So I'm looking to, on WTI, I just want to take out yesterday's high and get a breakout up to the next key level above. So I'm just very simply looking for this to be taken out, yesterday's high, and come up like so. Bang, hit resistance. So that's what I'm looking for on WTI. Brent, you can see it's already on the move, nice little hammer forming. So I'm looking for Brent to do the following. Come up, first of all, to yesterday's high. Take that out and come up to resistance. Nice strong upward trending channel here as well. Moving over to some of the other metals. So copper at the moment. Now do join us in June. We will keep a lookout. We'll be doing a training on how to trade the copper market. So copper here, we've got a very strong trend channel, upward trending trend channel, high lows, higher highs, which has really been in place since mid-March here. We continue to trade within this region. Now what I want to do now is really get a confirmed close above the swing low here from the beginning of February. So we can see we came down, we hit around the 3.1741 level. That is now resistance. And I just want to see a clean breakout now. Above, also just above, you can see the resistance level, the highs of May 2014. Once we get a clear break above that, just come up and kiss the upper trend line there. So that looks pretty decent at the moment for continuation. What I want to do now, there's been some earlier entries on that this week, so it's a little bit delayed to get into the trade. However, if we can just clear 3.1880, we're looking to take another trade on that. Very simply, to trade copper, we'll be looking at, we'll just go across the sectors, and we will go down to the metal sector. The copper index, where we take the trade, and we'd just be looking to take that over circa about a 3 or 4 hour period. Okay, and just looking for a buy on that. It's not quite ready yet, just waiting for that to trigger. We look over to the softs at the moment. So the softs had a bit of a pullback this week. We've seen a pullback on both corn, wheat, and also coffee. So they've all seen a little bit of a pullback. Come down to some major support at the moment. I'm looking corn, and looking still, the overall trend is very bearish on corn for the time being. We're below a lot of key moving averages. You're seeing a similar situation, getting a bit of a bounce here on the coffee market right at this major Fibonacci level, the one outlined in green here. So we can see the predominant trend is down here. Really, I would still favour continuation of the trend. The trend is your friend here. Very strong trend line. We may get a retest of the upper end of that trend line and just continue for a sell short. We just need to take out here again. We need to take out yesterday's low to build up a bit of momentum and come back down below this key support level as well. So we just take those levels out. We can get in another trade here just to sell short this level as well on the coffee market. And if we look at natural gas at the moment, we're developing, it's been fairly bearish over the month of May. We can see we had a nice sell-off this week from the natural gas storage inventories. I'll be watching that just for continued sell short opportunities at the moment on the natural gas market. And we'll just quickly take a bird's eye view of the market. We'll come back out. Actually, we look at wheat as well. So wheat continuing. We broke support yesterday, actually, on wheat. Still looking quite bearish here on wheat. We've got lower lows, lower highs. We're looking to just enter additional sell short opportunities at the moment on the wheat market. Okay, so let me just get all of these charts. We'll just take a quick look at the bird's eye view and just go over the top trades before we go over to the major news announcements, which will occur over the next week. Actually, silver is on the move. We'll take a look at that. Okay, so we'll just have a look at the top ones to have a look at the moment. So we can see here actually on my bottom left-hand screen, silver is starting to make a move. I think if we can break below yesterday's low here and break below the lower end of this trend channel, we could be in for potential for a decent sell short here on silver. I will keep an eye on that. Gold is starting, the US market is going to open very shortly, US session. We may start to get some sell opportunities here, particularly if the US dollar index gains momentum. This will also put pressure on Australian US dollar. We can see oil at the moment starting to get a bit of a bullish move to the upside there. WTI looking at Brent as well. Keep an eye on both of those today. Coffee, we'll look at the softs. We've got a predominant downward trend on those at the moment. Copper is one to keep an eye on, but I think really the major plays today is going to be the Australian US dollar for a short, the oils here for a long. Keep an eye potentially on gold and silver to trigger for sells here as well. And the softs as well, we just want to take out some lows, some weekly lows. So that's really the bird's eye view. Actually, I don't know, we may well trigger on this shortly on gold and silver. We're starting to see a bit of a move here. Yeah, it's not quite ready yet. Keep an eye on that, guy. I would say as well, just be mindful that the market could just come down, bounce off support, and reverse again. So we really need a break of that trend line in order to really get short. Same with silver. Silver might just come down and find some support around yesterday's lows, around this trend line. So you really need a break in order to short, okay? So with that, let's take a look at the major news announcements going into next week. Of course, Monday is a bank holiday. So not any news coming out on Monday. Right, so let's have a look. Major news announcements. So the week ahead, we've got Tuesday, 27th of May, US core durable goods. That's at 1:30 p.m. GMT, BST, 8:30 m EST. So that report measures the change in the total value of new orders for long-lasting manufactured goods. So it excludes transportation items, and the core number gives a better gauge of ordering trends. So a higher reading indicates increased manufacturing activity, and a higher than expected reading should be taken as bullish for the US dollar, while a lower than expected reading should be taken as bearish. Okay, next Tuesday, 27th of May at 1:30 p.m. BST, 8:30 m Eastern Time, we have the CB Consumer Confidence. So the Conference Board CB Consumer Confidence Index, they measure the level of consumer confidence in economic activity. It is a leading indicator and it can predict consumer spending, which plays a major role in overall economic health. A high reading points to high consumer optimism, and a higher than expected reading should be taken as bullish for the US dollar, and a lower than expected reading should be taken as bearish for the US dollar, which will inversely affect gold and silver. Next Wednesday, 28th of May at 3:30 p.m. BST, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we have the US crude oil inventories. Now, that data reports the number of barrels of crude oil commercial firms have in their inventory. So commercial firms report those inventory levels to the Energy Information Administration on a weekly basis. So a higher than expected reading should be taken as bearish for crude oil prices, while a lower than expected reading should be taken as bullish for crude oil prices. And that will also be a key news announcement for the oil markets, of course. Next Thursday, the 29th of May at 1:30 p.m. BST, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we have the US GDP. So the gross domestic product, GDP, measures the annualized change in the inflation-adjusted value of all goods and services produced by the economy. It is the broadest measure of economic activity, the preliminary indicator of the economy's health. Higher than expected readings should be taken as bullish for the US dollar, while a lower than expected reading should be taken as bearish for the US dollar. The next Thursday, the 29th of May at 3:30 p.m. BST, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we have the US natural gas storage inventory. So that does affect the natural gas market immensely. The Energy Information Administration, the EIA natural gas storage report, they measure the change in the number of cubic feet of natural gas held in underground storage during the past week. So a higher than expected reading should be taken as bearish for natural gas, while a lower than expected reading should be taken as bullish. We definitely saw that play out this week as well. And then lastly, on Friday, the 30th of May at 2:55 p.m. BST, 9:55 Eastern Time, we have the US Michigan Consumer Sentiment. Okay, and the Michigan Sentiment, the University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index rates the relative level of current and future economic conditions. There are two versions of that data released 2 weeks apart. The preliminary data tends to have a greater impact, and a higher than expected reading should be taken as bullish for the US dollar, and a lower than expected reading should be taken as bearish for the US dollar. So that, again, will inversely correlate with the gold and silver market. Perfect. So those are the 6 major news announcements we need to watch out for the week ahead. So really, Monday is going to be probably a fairly quiet day in terms of the bank holiday, and also this will be a bank holiday for the UK as well as the US markets too. Okay, so a couple of questions coming through. Right, so Martin, asking just about commodity. I'll tell you what, Martin, here is some information for you on this and for everyone else as well. You can, of course, learn to trade commodities professionally with the Gold and Silver Club. So we do have courses available at our training centres and online. So just depending on where you are in the world, we can accommodate that. So do get in touch. If you're based in Hong Kong, numbers on the screen, in Budapest, Johannesburg, New York or London, whichever office training centre we have closest to you, do get in touch with the numbers on the screen. You can also request information on the Gold and Silver Club coaching programs, live trading room. We have online courses as well as workshops as well. Just go to www.jointhegoldandsilverclub.com and you can certainly find out more there as well, guys. So do take advantage of that. And of course, do sign up for the weekly newsletter. You'll receive 3 weekly reports on precious metals, energies and agriculture, all for the week ahead. Key news announcements to watch, key technical levels we're looking at, as well as live market analysis and prices. So do make sure you subscribe to the newsletter. You'll get all the latest information there too. Okay, good. Right. So with that, we've got quite a lot to be having a look at today. So again, just a refresher for those of you who jumped on the webinar a little bit later. Keep an eye on Australian US dollar. That's selling off. Even the momentum is picking up a little bit more to the downside right now. Keep an eye as well on the oil, WTI and Brent, whether they're going to break out today. Keep an eye on the inverse correlation with the US dollar index. That's breaking out to the upside. That will put pressure on gold and silver. Okay, so there's quite a lot to be looking at as we go into the US session, guys. So with that, I wish you all good luck with your trading. Have a great bank holiday weekend. Thanks to Therese and binary.com and the team for putting on today's webinar. And guys, we will catch you on the next one, okay? So have a good weekend. And that's a wrap for today. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.